How you doing, everybody? I'm Tony Gaglione.
De MLS, Shawn Adams.
It's Smack Talk.
It's Smack Talk. Okay, so we're at day 16 of the World Cup, opening day of the knockout stages. For those of you who don't know, it was an all Canemball day. Only teams from South America played today. Let's start out.
Let's go to the other one first. I don't want to talk about this first.
We'll talk. Okay, so the no Luis Suarez game.
Yes.
And then just like in 2010, when Luis Suarez pulled a handball against Ghana and was suspended for the immediate match, afterwards, Uruguay lost the very next match to Germany. And in this one, Uruguay lost to Colombia, which is no surprise because they had no Suarez.
Yeah, no Suarez, no wins in this World Cup for Uruguay.
That's true. They lost to Costa Rica.
That's right. Every time they do not have Suarez, they lost. James Rodriguez, or Yamas.
Rodriguez.
Yamas Rodriguez.
We're going to have to correct ourselves. We thought it was Jay Rodriguez of Southampton. He's not on the roster. He is Colombian.
Yeah, we looked really dumb there for a while.
But this is James Rodriguez from Monaco, 22-year-old Ramadel Falco's teammate, who now has 5 goals to lead the Golden Boot. He scored 2 in this game. For those of you who don't know, the game ended 2-0. Colombia, they will move on. Me and Tony predicted in our bracket in the previous show.
Yeah, we got all of today's games right. The first Rodriguez goal was something disgusting that you see in a video game. It was a volley that came off of his chest.
His arm.
His shoulder.
The
whatever.
Same thing that Hulk did, except Hulk got caught for it.
Yeah.
But it's a deflection. For those of you who don't know, the goal's behind him. He chests it kind of like in the corner, and as the ball bounces off, he's turning and volleying, which is not so much as a bump in front of you and kick in front of you. He's turning.
No, he turned a complete 180, kicked the ball, and the damn thing dipped over the goalie.
Yeah, the goalie gets a finger on it, but that didn't do much because all he did, it already has that kind of spin. So his finger gets on the bottom of it. It adds more, hits the post,
and it goes in.
Hits the crossbar, goes down and in. And the first one was sick.
Yeah, the second one was awesome too. Armiro had a great cross.
No, Armiro
had the cross.
No, and that was Jackson Martinez that got the cross.
No. Watch the replay.
It's Armiro.
I'm going to say Armiro. He says Martinez. Either way, it went to Cordado.
The other striker.
And he headed it backwards to Rodriguez, and Rodriguez volleyed that in.
I know where you get Armiro's name is said because Armiro feeds Jackson on the wing.
Do we have to argue about this?
It's Jackson Martinez. You got to start today.
You're worse than my wife.
Yes, but the Muslera is expecting Cordado because he's a striker
to head the ball in.
And so he crashes the near post. Yeah, it's not like it's a mistake. It's accurate play because Cordado's at the back post.
He's doing what a smart goalie does.
And he gets there, and Cordado says, "No, I'm gonna head at a cross goal." And
that was heads up play. No pun intended.
There's nobody there. There's actually nobody there. Yeah, he literally took the bite out of the Uruguayan defense.
Stats in the game: 10 shots for Colombia, 8 on goal, 16 for Uruguay, only 9 on goal. So not so hot there percentage-wise. Fouls, 19-17, 19 for Colombia. Go ahead.
So Adidas has taken down an ad in Brazil because it's Luis Suarez like this, and people all over the place, Instagram, Snapchats, Facebook, are posing with this thing like he's biting them. So they took it down.
Man.
They took it down.
That's awesome, though. Speaking of the guy who kind of took Suarez's place,
Diego
Forlan.
Not the same player he was 4 years ago.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, 4 years ago he's tight, but why does the Uruguayan manager even put him in to start?
Because all they have is Forlan and Shane Aguero. Shane Aguero is like a 300-pound striker.
Okay.
They don't have anyone else. They don't have anybody else.
Move Gaston Ramirez up front before you put this joke in.
Gaston Ramirez plays for Argentina.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. God, who did I just hear this morning? There was another dude on Uruguay. You have Cavani.
Cavani, that's it.
No!
Alexi Ravelos, Rios. They don't have much. They have Suarez and Muslera and all their old Antonio Herrera. Their old players were good in 2010. In 2010, they had a great midfield.
Shows you how much I give a crap about Uruguay.
Without Suarez, they're nothing.
Either way, they had more corners, 5-3. We called the Colombia victory, by the way. Offsides, 1-1. Possession, 54-46, basically 50-50. 2 yellow cards for Uruguay, 1 for Colombia. Colombia plays Brazil.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that right now. Brazil played Chile in the early game this morning, and Brazil went through on penalties. Now, for those of you who don't know, the opening scoring was done basically by an own goal by the guy who lost the game. It's credited as a David Luiz tap in.
Poor Bill Buckner.
If you watch the
Buckner.
replay, it goes off of Jara. Okay, so it should have been an own goal because it's not a shot. It's a deflection
it's not a shot.
Off the goalie.
And you know what? Watching the replay over and over and over on ESPN FC, you see that Luiz.
He gets a side on it.
But if he doesn't boot that ball in, Luiz would have had to settle it before kicking in. So the goalie might have had an opportunity at it.
Jara got an own goal. It's scored as a Luiz goal. David Luiz, his first ever goal for Brazil. And then like a couple minutes later, 14 minutes later to be exact, Alexis Sanchez picks off a David Luiz bad pass to him and Luis Gustavo played like crap. No, I'm saying, but Neymar was passing it back after Gustavo pretty much. The defense,
it was off a throw-in.
Yeah.
And Sanchez picked it off.
Poached it.
And booted it into the box, and that was it.
Game over right there. So it was 1-1 at halftime. It stayed 1-1.
Wait, before we get to halftime, from like the 35th to the 45th minute, there was nothing but shots on goal from Brazil. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous amounts of shots on goal. That goalkeeper, Bravo, from Chile, played out of his mind. Out of his mind.
Yeah, but after that, Brazil didn't do anything. In the second half, they had one moment. The rest of it was all Chile. In fact, going into extra time, it was Brazil that was glad the game was going to extra time and not Chile, because Chile was being dangerous the whole second half.
And in extra time, it had to be the 119th minute where dude just rocketed one off the freaking crossbar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it shook the whole goal for like 10 seconds.
In halftime, though, or in second half, we talked about the James Rodriguez first volley. Hulk took an excellent ball.
That's right.
And he was called for a handball, but it's not. In my opinion, it's not a handball.
I thought it was a handball.
He's using his chest. It's not like he batted the ball down, but he put the ball in the back of the net. It should have been 2-1 Brazil, but it was ruled out for a handball. One thing I'll say about this game is both teams were just absolutely diving in the box. Every little contact, they were looking at Howard Webb for penalties, who's notorious for giving penalties away.
But guess what? He didn't call anything today.
He didn't call any of them. He didn't
even call that handball. The freaking line judge did.
Yeah, which was BS, because if he didn't call it, he should have overruled his line judge. It definitely wasn't a hand. In my opinion, it wasn't a handball. Yes, he has his arms out for balance, but he's not deliberately using his arm to control the ball.
I don't know.
Chile looked like the better team throughout the game. They were dangerous on the counterattack. Brazil looked, the term is probably disgruntled, because they got upset they weren't getting fouls. You know, they would, you know, you get the thing where like you run into the other player on the long ball from the goalie, and then the foul gets called onto you because you ran into him. That's like normal. But Brazil's like, why? That wasn't a foul. I didn't knock him off his feet.
Well, of course not. They're the home team. They expect to get all the calls. Wow. Brazil fouls 28, highest in the World Cup so far now.
Neymar, in the second half, he completely disappeared. Scolari pushed him higher up the pitch to be more of an attacking threat, and that pretty much nullified him from the game. It wasn't until the second half of extra time that he kind of dropped back into his normal position and was more active. One thing I will say is Fred sucked the whole game. I wrote this. I won't say it on the air, but they substituted Fred, who had a couple of bad touches in the box.
Dude, there was
Joe,
one for
and Joe
deflection.
Blew worse than Fred did.
There was one deflection where Fred had a wide open net and he just skied it right over.
Yeah, and then Joe, you know, the substitute, he's the hometown guy. He plays his club ball from Mineiro, plays at Belo Horizonte, the stadium they're playing in. And Hulk, like I said, Hulk was like the best player for Brazil all day.
See, I don't know how you could say that, because we'll get into it.
Okay, but Hulk definitely throughout the game was more active.
He made
than anyone else.
More of an impact up front as far as striking goes.
He did a beautiful cross. And Joe literally has a wide open net, and all he has to do is make contact, and he completely whiffs. Completely whiffs.
Look, man, there's so many times that Brazil had chances that they didn't convert on. This game could have easily been over in regular time 3-4-1.
Yeah, 9-5 corners. Brazil had more corners. Offside 2-3. Chile's offside one more time. Possession says 49-51. It's half and half.
50-50.
Yellow cards 4-3. Nobody that I know of got a yellow card that would rule them out. The second yellow card for the not because it now it clears.
Of, yeah.
So everyone that got a yellow card today because nobody's been suspended will be able to play against Colombia. Chile's out, so it didn't matter to them. You talked about it. Bravo he had 6 saves. Julio Cesar only had 1 technical save that they consider a save. I watched the game, and Hulk looked dangerous to me. Now, there were, like I said, Luis Gustavo looked like crap. Okay. Danny Alves was his normal attacking self. Nothing makes it outstanding to me because he's always like that. Danny Alves is always a threat.
David Luiz played well.
David Luiz played well, except for the little mix-up on the throw-in with Neymar, who should not be taking a throw-in the first place. It should be your left back taking the throw-in or your right back, so that way your midfielder can cover back, and it's easier for the striker to, versus throwing it in than having to run forward. It goes to penalties. Okay, and like Tony had said, in the 119th,
I don't know the name of the guy.
Marcos Diaz.
Somebody put it off the post.
Put hard. It off the crossbar. Yeah, hard. And Julio Cesar was definitely lucky that hit the.
Yeah, and when it went into penalties, Julio Cesar was already crying. Yeah,
Julio Cesar probably should get the nod for the player of the game because he kept them alive. So I staggered them so you can see the chronology.
I see.
Okay. So David Luiz takes his penalty, and he's a great penalty taker. He takes it, he makes it. Padilla takes his. Julio Cesar saves his. It's like you read him the whole time.
Yeah, okay? I mean, and Padilla was basically hoping that Cesar would jump out of the way, and he was going to shoot it down the middle, which he did not. So
kicked it off his feet.
Yep, basically.
And then Marcelo, who's also a good penalty taker, plays for Real Madrid, scored in that Champions League game. Put his in calmly. His looked like the best penalty of the day.
It was a good penalty, but Bravo had a fingertip on it.
Yeah, but you put enough pace on the ball.
Yeah, he guessed right. He guessed the right way. He almost had it.
And then Alexis Sanchez basically got red again because Julio Cesar goes the other direction and catches Sanchez going the other direction as well. Makes a clear save on that.
Dives to his right, yeah.
Then Whelan.
Wow.
Completely missed. He actually had the goalie going the other way. And he shanked it. The goalie went to his left. He's shooting, put it to his left. So the goalie's going to his right, going the opposite way. The goalie's left. And he shanks it, and it rolls right outside. Doesn't even
hit the post.
Doesn't do nothing. So then it keeps Chile in the game because that would have been really hard to recover.
Yeah, 3-0 would have been.
Aaron Giaz, who played well defensively.
I think that was the best penalty shot because there was no way anybody was saving that. It doesn't matter what goalie it was.
He just walked up and fired it up top corner.
Top right corner.
Yeah. Julio Cesar didn't even move.
There's nothing he could do.
I don't think he cared at that point. I think 2-1. He knows numbers. He's an excellent goalkeeper. Then Bravo makes a save on Hulk, whose penalty was garbage.
It was garbage. Hulk tried to do the same thing Piniella did, which is shoot it right in the middle. He got Bravo leaning one way, but Bravo kept his feet into the middle.
Blocked it. That's a bad penalty for Hulk. Then Diaz, the guy that hit the bar, calmly puts his penalty in. So now it goes down to Neymar. And, of course, Neymar doesn't miss.
If anybody watch hockey, Neymar is Patrick Kane in a shootout. Because Neymar does all these little stutter steps.
Well, not only that, he backs up, and then he jumps to one side.
It's crazy.
Runs up like he's going to shoot it to that side. Stops. Yeah, but credit to Bravo. He didn't move when the stop came. Because a lot of times goalies give away their position. It allows Neymar to choose. Neymar still slots it home. And then the worst way to end a penalty shootout, a.k.a. Thomas Vermaelen, is Jara, the guy who put in the own goal, who should have been scored against the own goal, De Luis goal. The Cesar went the other direction. He put it off the post hard. He didn't just put it off the post like Vermaelen style.
No. And the worst part about it is that the ball rode the end line and then went out of the back.
Yeah.
So he didn't miss by much.
No, definitely not. So that put Brazil through 3-2 on penalties. We predicted this. You'll see Colombia versus Brazil in the quarterfinal matchups, but we got to go through 3 more days of knockout stages before we even see this game.
Yeah.
So it's going to give them 3 days rest. I don't know. Brazil, this is the thing about Brazil. From watching them, they haven't played up to their potential, which makes me wonder, is that going to hurt them, or are they going to catch their form at the right time? Quarterfinals, semifinals, finals.
Well, they better, because they're coming up a team that's a little better than Chile, in my opinion.
Tomorrow's games. Don't
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry
we
about that.
make our predictions.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we didn't have no predictions for this game because we didn't have a show yesterday, but we predicted it on our bracket. We didn't make any predictions, but we will make predictions for tomorrow's game. So at 9 a.m. in the morning. Oh, just so you guys know, I have a parlay that's going, which is probably not going to happen because of the first game.
Nope.
But the hardest part, the biggest underdog, the draw on the Chile-Brazil game came through because it's technically scored as a draw when it goes into extra time.
Sure.
For betting purposes. For score sheet purposes, it's technically a 1-1 draw. Brazil went through on penalties. Netherlands versus Mexico early in the morning, 9 a.m. Me and Tony will be excited to watch this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting because it's one of the better games that we were actually able to visually see in the same room.
Yeah.
Because we're both sitting there watching it at work normally.
Yeah.
I wish I lived on the East Coast, man.
I'm going to predict Netherlands 3-2. It's only going to be close. It's going to be 2-1 for most of the game. Netherlands will get a goal late, 80th minute, 75th minute, somewhere around there. And then Mexico will get like an 87th minute goal, something like that, giving them 3 minutes plus whatever stoppage time, which I predict will not be as long as it should be in this game. I have a feeling like we're going to see like a 3-minute stoppage time, when it should be like 6 minutes of stoppage time.
I have the same score. However, I have it playing down a little differently. So you think the Netherlands is basically going to walk through the lead most of the game?
Most of the game, yeah.
I think the Netherlands scores first, Mexico answers with 2, and then the Netherlands score 2.
Okay.
It's just the way I see it, a back and forth kind of game. However,
we do have
it could be like a 1-1 late into the game. You don't know. Ochoa is playing amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
We both have Netherlands advancing just out of pure.
We have Netherlands advancing on
educated
1 goal
guess.
differential. Yeah. 1 goal differential. So it doesn't matter the actual score line. We're trying to predict what will happen in the game. I will say this. Netherlands will probably foul Mexico a lot to slow down their midfield.
Okay.
Netherlands does this. It's a great tactic. Chile tried it late in the game and it was working. What happens is when you have another team reeling, whether you've equalized or whether you've taken a lead, whatever, when they get the midfield, gets the ball, and they try to break or they try to pass, you just give them a professional foul because it slows the game down, allows you to get everybody organized and back before the free kick is taken. Now, even if they take a quick free kick, you've given 10, 15 seconds for your team to organize. Mm-hmm. So you'll probably see that a lot from Netherlands if they take a lead. If they go down, I think you'll see them pressing. I don't think they go down in this game. Maybe early, like a 0-1 goal early in the game, but once they get going, I think Netherlands probably going to control the game. Midfield will probably, possession-wise, Mexico will probably have possession because Netherlands is a great counterattack team. We got Aaron Robben, Van Persie, who will get to play his 3rd game.
Yeah, I'd really like to see what Memphis Depay does because we were talking about him the other day in the Young Player Award chase. I really like to see what this guy does. I know he's going to come in as a sub because RVP's back.
Yep.
So, I'm just curious. Curious.
You never know. They could take out Snyder because Blind is having a great.
That's true.
You could always see Snyder because you keep a guy like Snyder on the bench. You sub him in the 60th minute, 70th minute. You got a veteran player with fresh legs,
and he's hungry.
Yeah. So the afternoon game will be Costa Rica versus Greece. On our bracket, we both predicted Costa Rica to win. I think this is another extra time game.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm gonna say 0-0.
Ooh.
And 1-0 Costa Rica in the 115th.
All right. I'm going to call it 1-1 going to extra time, and then Costa Rica early in extra time. Like, let's say 95th minute.
Okay. Which, knowing anything between predictions, the Netherlands-Mexico game will probably go into extra time and something like that.
And Costa Rica's going to win by 6.
They're going to win 3-2.
Oh, they'll win by 6.
So that'll do that. We promised you guys we would do an all Confederation team. So we've got the board behind us with one goalie, four. We agreed upon a formation. We put some little dots here. It doesn't really matter what you call these left man, wingers, whatever. We're playing with 3 midfielders, 3 forwards, wingers, whatever you want to call it.
Well, sure. And 4 defensemen and a goalie. It's a basic normal formation.
Yeah.
So I think we both are in serious, easy agreement on the goalie.
Tim Howard should be the number 1 goalie because he is probably one of the better goalies in the world, if not top 5.
Okay.
Okay.
Very easy.
Defenders that we agree. Can we agree that?
You know what? I can give you the one that we talked about because I have Guardado from Mexico as my right back because he's listed as a defender / midfield, kind of like Fabian Johnson. But I'll give you Mariappa.
Mariappa, Jamaica. This guy's very. You know, you never hear about him when he plays for Jamaica because Jamaica never does anything. But he's a great defender. I believe he plays for Millwall. Crystal Palace. Oh, he did play for Millwall. He plays for
plays for Crystal Palace now. He took the spot of Nathaniel Klein when he left. Yeah.
Okay. And then we both have Rafa Marquez as our center back.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy choice. El Capitan. He's old, but man, is he a good defender.
Without a doubt. One of the best defenders in CONCACAF.
We disagree on the other center back, but I'll give Tony this one.
Okay.
I have Forte of Southampton plays for Barbados. Once again, he's the only player that they have that's good. But Tony has Besler on there. Besler is my number 1 sub on defender-wise.
And Besler, his form right now is incredible.
Yes,
so.
and he plays great in MLS. He's playing great in the World Cup. Probably the best defender on the U.S. squad right now.
Yeah.
We both agree that Fabian Johnson will be our left back because not only is he good for the USA, but he's also very good in Germany. He's just an all-around good. As far as this region goes, CONCACAF, he's probably the best left back you're going to find. There are others who are quality left backs, but Fabian Johnson is the best well-rounded. He can cross. He can get forward to an attack. He can defend very well.
And you know what's really funny about our teams here? The Smack Talk CONCACAF team, because we came in here all secretive, like we were the CIA or something. I had my thing folded over so nobody would see it. He goes into another room to write his, and we come up with basically the same starting lineup. So
it just goes to show you that there's slim pickings in the CONCACAF.
Big time, because when we get the Canembo and things like that, UEFA, it's going to be a completely different story.
Okay, so just so you know, honorable mentions. Tony did not have Jeff Cameron. I do because he plays in England. He's having a bad World Cup. I've got Justin Hoyt of Trinidad and Tobago.
Sure.
He's like the second best Trinidad and Tobago player. I took the nations, and I know they're best players, and they're like the only ones worthy of an all-star consideration.
Sure. I got McNuff, plays for Reading.
Yep.
Jamaican national. Graham Zuzi, Landon Donovan mentions. Joel Campbell, Arsenal, Loney all the time.
Yep.
Ochoa would be my backup goalie, as I think he is yours.
Yeah, I'm carrying 3 goalies, just to be safe. You give competition. I've got Ochoa and Navas because, like, let's say if we were playing this and we played a couple of games and Howard got hurt, you'd still want Ochoa probably to come in and Navas to be your backup at that point, or vice versa, depending on training, form, things like that, right?
One guy I want to mention that we both have is Dwayne De Rosario.
Yeah, we do have Dwayne De Rosario as a midfielder. He's not a starter, but he's probably Canada's best player. Period.
Without a doubt.
He plays for the MLS. He's a great midfielder. He's old, so he wouldn't start. He'd be a great sub, 85th minute sub. You know, you're winning a game.
You can see there's a pattern here that most of the guys we pick from CONCACAF, unfortunately, most didn't have their prime in the MLS or America. Yeah. Mostly their prime was in Europe.
Europe, yeah.
So.
Okay, so let's go with midfielders. I've definitely got Michael Bradley
in the midfielder. Yeah, without a doubt.
Now Tony's got a more of an attacking-minded midfield than I do, so I don't agree with his.
We can double it up.
I don't like his Dos Santos midfield. I will say that Brian Ruiz is probably the second best midfielder in CONCACAF.
Okay, I have Brian Ruiz on my reserves, I guess, but we'll go with, I'll give you Ruiz just because my attacking usually doesn't really work, but I'll put Dos Santos there too.
Yeah, because Tony's got strikers playing midfield, just so you know.
It's all speed, baby. All speed.
Well, before we figure out our final, man, let's put our unanimous striker in place, Clint Dempsey.
Yep.
Who's could be playing midfield if we wanted him to.
We could, because that's where he played at Tottenham.
Yeah. So and at Fulham with Brian Ruiz. Let's see here. Okay, so
so you have a different.
My midfield, I've got my midfield starters. I've got Bradley, Ruiz, and Guardado. I got Guardado playing his natural position at left man.
Okay.
I've got Herrera of Mexico, Jermaine Jones. Sorry, I was going to call him John Jones.
Then okay, since if
and
we are
Figueroa and Figueroa of Honduras is the only Honduran player I have. He plays for Wigan.
I don't even know why you have this guy. I mean, I got midfielders too, but the best midfielder that we both agree on, obviously, is Jones. So can we put Jermaine Jones?
I would have Jermaine Jones.
Okay.
Start for me. That's no problem.
Alrighty. And
slash Guardado, because you had Guardado playing left back. He would be playing.
I mean, you can run Fabian Johnson there, and vice versa. You know, it's
you could put
sure
Jones and Guardado because this would be interchangeable.
All right, yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, so now on the strikers, I had Dos Santos playing up front because that's where he plays for Valencia or Mallorca. I mean, Tony's got him as a Ruiz Dos Santos thing. So
Okay.
the
We're
other
gonna have to
striker
agree
that
on
I have,
these two.
Carlos Vela.
Okay.
He's probably like the best Mexican striker.
He is definitely on my 3 forwards. My other forward is Chicharito, who you don't have on your roster.
I don't have on there, but we do have somebody that you have playing midfield that is a striker. Kenwin Jones of Trinidad and Tobago.
I can give you that.
Kenwin Jones is an awesome player.
You know how I like speed up front.
Yeah, and he's like Trinidad and Tobago is Kenwin Jones. He's like get the ball to Zlatan, except he's like a 70 rating.
Let me tell you something. If you put this team in the English Premier League,
it'd get smoked.
It's better than mid-table.
It's definitely mid-table quality. But the question
it's better than mid-table.
The question you have to ask yourself is guys like Figueroa, De Rosario, Herrera, McAnuff.
Well, yeah, you're over the hill.
You're looking at guys. Can we maintain a 38-game schedule plus cup games in the Premier League?
But you're also looking at guys that have played in the EPL, like Kenwin Jones,
like
Clint Dempsey, Michael Bradley. Not Michael Bradley.
But he played in Germany and in Serie A.
Dos Santos,
Ruiz. Yeah.
Tim Howard still plays there.
Tim Howard plays there. Marquez played in the Premier League at one point.
Okay, then you got Michael Bradley played in Italy most of his career,
and Germany,
with Verona and Roma. Fabian Johnson plays in Germany.
Mondenblock starting club, just so you know.
Didn't know that.
Played in Germany. Carlos Vela played in the Premier League.
Arsenal.
Played for Arsenal. Didn't do well at Arsenal, but then again, he was only like 19 when he got to start.
Jermaine Jones, FC Schalke.
Yeah, the consistent Champions League runner-ups. Kenwin Jones. So this team would be, on a one-game basis, on a one-game match, they could probably beat anybody in the Premier League.
Without a doubt.
But on a schedule thing, I would say they finished 12,
when you run into those tough runs of Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U, Man City.
No. It's like Arsenal, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Man U, Stoke, Man City, Chelsea. Oh, and then guess what? You forgot Tottenham, and then you've got like Hull City, then Everton. Yeah, so.
Yeah, then they throw you into the FA Cup, and you play teams that just got relegated, like Norwich.
Yeah. Well, and all that, you beat Norwich, and then you have a game, your second game against Man U, but 3 days before that, you got to play Tottenham because they're still in the FA Cup.
I think when you look at the team as a whole, the depth isn't there.
The depth is not there.
I think for the starting 11, I think it's pretty damn good.
Now, the one thing Tony has on here, 2 players that I like. He has Graham Zusi on there and McAnuff. I didn't have McAnuff. He's a Jamaican player, but he's a good player. He played in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Zusi is a great player. The one player I don't agree with is Landon Donovan.
That's the one player you don't agree with? You agree with Marco Papa?
No, I don't. I don't even recognize Guatemalan players.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Marco Papa, he's old. He's beyond washed up. He's beyond Marquez. Donovan, I don't agree with Donovan because he's had chances to stay in the EPL. He's been on loan to Everton during the EPL offseason, and he hasn't taken it. And I always feel that his excuse, not saying it's a bad thing because I like the guy, of wanting to grow the game in the United States is a cop-out for not wanting to play against the best every day, all the time. Because if you look at where he played with Roy Keane or Robbie Keane, played with David Beckham, right?
So you're trying to say
I'm
what
saying
you're
that
really trying to
if he
say
was
is
on this team, he would not be a starter for our team very often.
so
Tough games.
you're saying that at Everton, Landon Donovan is what, a disappearing act? Because I'm not too sure about that.
Well, no, he's a great 1 month introduction for the month of February. I mean, let's be honest. He's not. It's not like he's a great player the whole season. He gets a great month. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to come in and have a great. It's your preseason for the MLS. You come in. You don't care what happens at Everton. You play free. You get 60 minutes a game. You get subbed out. You know, people cheer your name because you're Landon Donovan. You're America's best player, supposedly. We know that's Clint Dempsey. You know, I wouldn't have put him on the roster. In fact, Tony chose a coach. I didn't choose a coach because I'm thinking I'm the coach. And if I'm the coach, my team's winning a lot of games. If Klinsmann's the coach, he's not doing too great.
I'm sorry.
I think great in the World Cup.
Jurgen Klinsmann is the best CONCACAF coach there is.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I like the.
Don't tell me Herrera from Mexico.
I like the. Yeah, I like the Chucamonga, whatever the Chupacabra on the sidelines over there, getting all emotional.
When you have
Bob Bradley was my coach.
What?
Bob Bradley would have been my coach.
Yeah. Considering that he did so fantastic in his last World Cup appearances.
He won the group against England.
With taking the lead for a whole 2 minutes.
Hey, he won the group, baby. Won the group.
Yeah. And who was on that team? Who scored that game tying goal?
Landon Donovan against Algeria.
Donovan, the guy who wouldn't start for your team.
Speaking of Algeria, yeah, because 4 years ago, we're talking about players 4 years ago. Uruguay's midfield was awesome. Now,
4 years from now, we might have Julian Green starting up front.
Well, we probably will, because Klinsmann's still going to be.
And guess what? I think Joshua Gatt's coming too.
I don't think Joshua Gatt's even getting a call up, dude.
Yep.
I don't think so.
Leave my boy alone, dude.
I'm sorry, dude.
I want that speed demon up front.
No, Julian Green. You never know. We don't know what Julian Green can do.
No, because he was just handed a World Cup spot over Landon Donovan.
But here's the thing. Julian Green on the roster, do you have to start Julian Green?
Hell no.
Landon Donovan, you have to start.
No, you don't.
You probably
He's there for moral support in the locker room.
Yeah.
That's what he's there for.
Pretty sure that guy would be real happy sitting on the bench for 3 straight games.
No. I mean, there's guys in the NHL, the NFL, even MLB that have Hall of Fame careers. But guess what?
You take out Julian Green for Donovan?
Would I take out Julian Green for Donovan?
What if he's so partial? What if he promised Julian Green a World Cup spot? Because he said he didn't. But how do you know he didn't promise him to switch federations? This kid plays for Bayern Munich.
The B team.
It doesn't matter. He's on. You can't say B teams for Manchester United, for Arsenal, for Chelsea. These teams have B teams because they're loaded with the good players around the world. There's a reason why Real Madrid's youth team has got 4 Zidane children. Who do you think Lionel Messi's kid, Thiago Messi, is going to play for when he starts growing up? The Barcelona B team.
David Beckham's son already is in the Manchester United system.
No, the Arsenal system, by the way, just so you know. It's Arsenal, just so you know. Doesn't play for Man U, just so you know.
Let's look this up.
You can look it up. He plays for Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan, by the way.
Okay, let's look. Either way, I like this team. I think that we have some snubs on your side and mine.
Yeah, I didn't have Vela in until Tony said it, because I was looking at players.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Give me a little credit.
Well, because I was looking at players that played in CONCACAF. Because Vela technically doesn't play for his national team, therefore he's not a CONCACAF player. But Tony said, "Hey, we're doing the regional squad. We're not caring about who national team." I was like, all right, Vela's got to be on there. He's like He is Mexico's best striker,
without a doubt.
And Arsenal just made $8 million or $20 million by selling him. 12. Well, they bought him back on a buyback clause for 3 and sold him for 17, something, just under 17. And we get 8% of any future sell-ons through 2018. So if they sell them over the next 5 years, we'll get more money from them. November 1st, 2013. That's like years old, bro.
Just saying. He's got more than one son. Maybe we're thinking about other people.
He was training at Manchester United. It's not on the team.
Whatever. We'll see. He's a kid.
He's not.
He's like 8.
Yeah, there are youth squads for that stuff.
That's ridiculous.
Take it from experience.
I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
I'm too fat to play soccer.
Okay, so what region are we doing tomorrow?
Make it difficult, because I got a day off.
Africa. The African region, top 23. The African All-Stars. Yeah, that's difficult, brother.
All right, fine.
Africa.
I got a day off tomorrow, so I got time to do this.
Alrighty. I'm Shawn Adams.
I'm too fat to play soccer. Hey, that's my move.
Oh, my move today